and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, how are you tonight?
Robbie, I'm doing fantastic. I gotta say, my head is feeling so much lighter. You know, last episode we had, I'm sure everyone knows, I had kind of a big mop full of hair. I was covering my eyes. I couldn't see where anything was anymore. So, I was like, you know what? I need a different style. I need a haircut. Bam. That's what happened. So, yeah. That was for the better. So.
Yeah, breaking news. Kyle actually got a haircut. Good for you.
Thank you.
So for tonight's episode, what we wanted to do is, obviously, this time of year is the Major League Baseball playoffs are starting up. So what we wanted to do is sort of dive into that and talk some other MLB current events. If you saw our last episode, we sort of talked some NFL current events, so we figured we'd sort of stay on the same theme there, and this time talk a little MLB. And a little bit later on, we're actually going to make some predictions for the upcoming MLB playoffs.
Yep.
We also, if you are on our Facebook page, we posted a poll basically asking people who they wanted to win the World Series. We're actually going to read off the results of that towards the end of the episode. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk a couple of current event things first before we get into the playoff predictions. The first one is we obviously have to talk about our hometown Boston Red Sox. Their season just ended, like all the non-playoff teams on Sunday. A tough season for them. Finished in last place in the American League East a year after winning the World Series, and Kyle, just a lot going against the team this season. Some injuries, some trades, some players signing last offseason. Just it didn't seem to quite click for the team this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the fact that they've won the World Series, just pretty recently, the year before. I mean, I don't know. I guess they just needed a little break this year, and I can understand. That they were at their top performing team last year, but this year, I guess they fell into a bit of a slump. But yeah, it happens.
One thing I will say is that they've gone from last in 2012 to first in 2013 to last in 2014. So next year, going up to first place again. Hopefully continuing on that trend. But
that team jumps high, I'll tell you.
I think the big thing for the Red Sox this offseason, and that what a lot of people are talking about, first of all, is they need some pitching. They gave away a bunch of their key starting pitchers at the trade deadline. Their bullpen never really looked that sharp this season. I think the big question is, and Kyle, I want to ask this to you. I know your limited baseball knowledge, but John Lester, a lot of talk whether or not he will, after being traded, perhaps re-sign. He's a free agent this offseason, and a lot of talk as to whether or not perhaps maybe there's a chance that he could re-sign with the Sox in the offseason. So, Kyle, I want to put you on the spot right now, and I know you don't follow the game as closely as others of us, but do you think and would you like to see John Lester in a Red Sox uniform come next spring?
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. He would. How long has he been playing for the team?
For at least like 7-8 years. He's been with the team his whole career.
Oh, okay,
up until they traded him in July.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to have him back. I'm sure he seemed like a great player. Seemed like he was really dedicated to the team. If he really has another team he'd like to join, then I guess I say if he really wants to do it, then go ahead and do it. But I'm sure the Red Sox would like to have him back as well. So.
And I'd just like to say, it's tough because obviously John's going to be looking for a lot of money. Not quite sure what the Red Sox are willing to spend there. But would love to see him back in a Sox uniform. So, John Lester, if you're watching this, come home.
We need you.
So to speak. Yeah, we need you back. But it'll be what it's going to be. And hopefully the Sox can at least go on to get some other pitching in this offseason to perhaps counterbalance if he doesn't come back to the team. So, it is what it is, and hopefully this offseason will be kind to the Red Sox as they head into the 2015 campaign.
Yeah, so John, go where your heart tells you.
Yes.
That's what I guess.
And then the other piece of MLB current event news that we wanted to talk about is Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter, for those of you...
Jeter is a cheater.
Not really.
Sorry. No, he's actually really good.
He's a really good guy.
I actually have a lot of respect for him personally.
Yeah, so do I, as I'm going to talk about. But Derek Jeter, for those of you who don't know, if you don't know, I don't know why you're watching the show, but Derek Jeter's a shortstop and captain of the New York Yankees, retiring this season after a very long, successful career, all of which were in pinstripes. I think that's the first thing I want to touch on. Sort of, in this age, and this is one of the reasons why... obviously, we're both Red Sox fans. The Yankees have always been, the Red Sox most hated rival. But there have been two Yankees in my lifetime that I've had any respect for. One is Mariano Rivera, and the other one is Derek Jeter. And I think one of the reasons why I kind of just alluded to it just then is... in this age of, players signing these big contracts with other teams and, sort of this whole idea like that, it's more of a business than, a loyalty type thing. Derek Jeter played for the New York Yankees from when he was drafted until when he retired. And I think that loyalty that he showed towards the city of New York is something that a lot of players can learn from because... Yeah. He could have. I'm sure there were plenty of times where he could have gone other places, could have, signed that max contract with another team, but he chose to stay in New York, and for that, I really commend him for that, Kyle, and I'm sure you do as well.
Oh yeah, no, I've said before, I've always had the utmost respect for this guy. I mean, I know there are some other kind of sleazy players on the Yankees here and there. Hey, Rob, what? I don't know what you're talking about. But. Yeah, I've always liked him. I hear he's a stand-up guy. I hear he's a really good guy to talk to, and he works hard. Yeah, he really, and like you said,
plays the game the right way. I think that's what the thing I've always respected about him is he plays the game the right way. He doesn't get caught up in the steroids and the cheating and stuff like that. He just goes out, works hard, like you said, and just plays the game the right way. Does everything the right way, which is very commendable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. No, he's a great guy, and he seemed like I'm sure he has a family, right? I'm sure he seems like a family man as well. So you're right. He's not caught up in the drugs or anything. He's a very straight-laced guy. He just knows what he's doing. And one more quick blurb. I did like his cameo in the movie The Other Guys. Remember with Mark Wahlberg? You ever see that movie?
I don't think so. No.
It's hilarious. Well, just watch it. I won't spoil the scene, but he's in a really funny scene. So.
And lastly, Kyle, sort of on that point, I know. You lived for a few years in New Jersey, which is right sort of in the middle of Yankee country. They're pretty close to New York City. And I guess, just people that you met, and I'm sure you may have met a good number of Yankee fans during your time there. What was sort of the if you can remember, what was sort of there must have been pretty positive feelings and sentiments towards Derek Jeter there, especially because, being right in the middle of Yankee country, so to speak.
Well, it's funny because I felt like I was kind of at a crossroads, like right between, it's like Mets and Yankees. I feel like I was right at that intersection.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I feel like it was literally like a 50, it was very close to like a 50-50, like you either like the Mets or the Yankees, or my social studies teacher, the only teacher that liked the Red Sox, was the only, we were the only ones that kind of sided with each other because we were the only ones that liked the Red Sox. And the Patriots and all the Boston teams. Well, I'll be honest, I haven't heard a lot of talk about Derek Jeter. I haven't talked to him a lot when I was in New Jersey, but at least the few things I have heard of him, heard about him, he's a great guy. Even my dad respects him. I gotta say, my dad has. And he's a diehard Red Sox fan, and he always told me he had the most respect for him as well. So, yeah.
Derek Jeter, we wish you the best in your retirement, and we're kind of glad you're not going to be torching the Red Sox anymore. Although you were a big part of the rivalry, and all we can say is respect to you, sir.
Respect. And you are not a cheater. Don't listen to those fans. You're not a cheater.
I don't think anybody called him a cheater, but okay.
They didn't? No, it wasn't like a chant? They just,
No.
That was
No, you just made that up.
No, that was totally a chant. I
I
heard that somewhere. I heard that somewhere. I've
Maybe
heard other
your
kids saying that.
dreams.
No, I heard other people saying that. Just saying. That's all. I have.
Well, we'll see. I've never heard that, but
It's just because his last name rhymes with cheater. That's really the only reason they're saying it. They don't really mean it.
all right. Well, now to move on to sort of the meat and bones of this episode, our official On a Couch Talking Sports 2014 MLB playoff picks.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna sort of do it in a bracket style format.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go round by round, and basically we're gonna just give our picks, the two of us, and it'll be interesting to see, I think, where how we go here. Give it sort of like a sort of our difference in baseball and sports knowledge. But this will be interesting. So we're gonna start out. The first game I want to start with, just so we get people caught up that haven't been following as much. The first round is the two wild card games. The top two teams in the wild card play each other basically for a spot in the top four in each league, AL and NL. Last night was the AL wild card game. The Kansas City Royals, in a thrilling game, beat the Oakland Athletics in 12 innings. So they advanced now to play the LA Angels in the ALDS. And then tonight, and this is where I want to start out with, tonight we have the NL wild card game featuring the San Francisco Giants playing against the host Pittsburgh Pirates. So Kyle, I guess before we go into like sort of the meat and crunch of our picks here, I want to get a quick pick from you as the game actually just started during the time that we're filming this. But a quick pick, Giants or Pirates?
Oh, what did I say when we were... I apologize, this is my quick reference thing. I actually picked the Giants. I didn't really have much of a rhyme or reason, I just kind of like guessed. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about those teams. So I just figured the Giants, because it's Giants.
Yeah, I went with the Pirates. I just
Pirates are cooler.
Well, in the playoffs,
just in general.
And especially in the MLB, it seems like over the years, home field advantage does mean a whole lot. And with the Pirates playing this game at home, the city seems very excited. The city of Pittsburgh seems very excited for it. So I think that the Pirates are going to take this one home. So now let's move on to the divisionals.
Plus, Pirates are a little more badass than Giants, I think.
True. So we got the Alright, so now we got the divisional series. We're going to start with the ALDS.
ALDS.
So for the ALDS, we've got the LA Angels against Kansas City Royals.
Ooh, right.
And then the Detroit Tigers against the Baltimore Orioles. So Kyle, I guess the first game, the first series that we'll pick, and I'll let you begin, is the Angels against the Royals.
The Angels versus the Royals. Well, let me think. I think probably the Angels personally. The Royals seem to a little bit be the underdog team, but I think the Angels are. I don't know. From what the little I've read, it seems like the Angels have really have it there. I think so. That's yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you. I got the Angels as well. No offense to the Royals. I mean, it's their first time in the playoffs since 1985.
Oh, what was it? 27 years.
29 years.
29 years.
Very exciting time for Kansas City Royals, and we give them a lot of kudos for making it finally into the big dance. But I think the Angels, just with that lineup and their pitching staff, and the fact they have the best record in the AL this year, I think they have too much. I'm going to go with the Angels. Next series, a bit of a toss-up here. I'll start with my pick for this one: Tigers and Orioles.
Ooh, yeah.
This is a tough series for me. I think the series. By the way, just for anybody that doesn't know, the divisional series is best of 5 games. Whereas the championship series and the World Series are both best of 7 games. I expect this Tigers-Orioles series to go the full 5 games. But at the end of the day, like I said, I have a hard time in a deciding game picking against the home team. So I'm going to go with the Tigers in 5 games to knock off the Orioles.
Actually, that was my pick as well. I'm not gonna lie, the Tigers. Yeah, I hear especially their pitchers I heard were really good too. They when I read about them, so I'm thinking kind of based on that and based on, but yeah, I hear they're a pretty even matchup. They're pretty close. The big clash with the Titans, but I don't know. Tigers, I think would at least from my intuition.
You actually brought up a good point there. Tigers have the last 3 major AL Cy Young Award winners, which is given to the best pitcher in the American League each year. All 3 of them are now on that Detroit Tigers pitching staff: David Price, Justin Verlander, and Max Scherzer. So definitely a tough trio there. So again, another reason why I think they take it.
So it seems like defensively they'll be pretty good there.
All right, now moving on to the National League side of the divisional series, where we've got the Nationals against the winner of tonight's Giants-Pirates game, and then we've got the Dodgers and the Cardinals. First series we're going to go to is that Nationals versus either the Giants or Pirates series. And Kyle, I'll let you begin with your prediction for that.
Oh, Nationals versus Pirates, Giants. That's a tough one. I might have to actually even change my pick. Originally I thought maybe the Giants, but I'm thinking maybe because of the... That's actually kind of a tough one. I don't know, at least from what I read, a lot of people I think are kind of like, they're pushing more for the Nationals, so I'll probably just side with them just based on what I've seen, what I've read. So.
Alright, I'm going to go with the Nationals as well. You know, I think whichever team comes out of the wild card game in the NL will give them a tough test, but at the end of the day, Nationals are the top team in the NL for a reason. They can hit, they can field, they got good pitching. One of their pitchers actually threw a no-hitter in the team's last regular season game, Jordan Zimmerman, so I like the Nationals to take this one. Next one, again, this is sort of a bit of a toss-up. Could see this going 5 games, Dodgers and Cardinals. I like the Dodgers. The Dodgers have a very strong lineup. They have, one of the arguably best pitchers in baseball, Clayton Kershaw. They just look really good this year once again, and so I see this going either 4 or 5 games, but I see the Dodgers pulling this one out, beating the Cardinals.
You know, it's funny. I was just thinking. I had the same answer. The Dodgers. I thought the Dodgers, especially because the Cardinals were up pretty recently in the playoffs, anyways, right? Playoffs, and then they were in the World Series actually not too long ago, right?
Yeah, Red Sox beat them.
There you go. See, I mean, they were there last year, so I feel like this year. I don't know. I have a feeling this year they.
A little revenge factor maybe, because the Cardinals actually beat the Dodgers in the NLCS last year, so you could see perhaps a little revenge factor there.
I don't know. I'm thinking because of that. I mean, I don't know the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers might take that red carpet from under them. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that's my pick.
All right, now we're going to move on to the championship series. Again, these are best of 7 series. So just looking at the bracket currently, I have in the AL the Angels versus the Tigers. You have that. I think you have that series as well. You picked the Angels and Tigers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we actually have both. Because in the NL I have Nationals and Dodgers, and I think you picked the Nationals and Dodgers as well. So we both have the same series here. So
it's funny, we didn't even really talk about it before.
No, we really didn't. It just happened.
It's weird because I don't really follow these teams, but I just kind of based on what I've read and stuff.
So for the ALCS, I'll begin. Again, both these series are number 1 versus number 2 in terms of record. Uh,
So it's pretty even matchup, huh?
yeah, pretty evenly matched. Actually, I'm sorry. I think the Tigers are number 3. But anyway,
Still pretty up there.
so pretty up there. I think both these series are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
I
It's good.
like.
We get some good games out of that.
Yeah, I like the Angels though in the ALCS. I like them in like maybe 6 games, 5 or 6 games. Again, it's just hard to go against that lineup of Albert Pujols and all those guys over there and their pitching. They've been so strong all season long, especially at the right time, the second half of the year, and so I like the Angels.
Okay. For the ALC, right? So ALCS, I don't know. I actually this is where I think we're gonna have to differentiate a little bit. I'm guessing the Tigers. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Yeah, I just think the Tigers because they haven't. Were they the ones that haven't been to the World Series in a while?
Yeah, they haven't been. No, that was the Royals.
Oh, that was the Royals. Okay, but how long have the Tigers been in the World Series?
Tigers haven't been there in quite a few years, or a few years.
I don't know. It just seems like they have a pretty strong team. I mean, it's a tough one because I've now that kind of Robbie's filled me in a little more about the Angels. I didn't really know much about the Angels, but it seems like the Angels are pretty good too. But I don't know. I just think the Tigers. I think especially their pitchers. I think they got a good lineup there. So I don't know. I'm gonna stick with the Tigers personally.
All right.
Plus Tigers are cool.
Now moving on to the NLCS, we've got 1 versus 2 here as well. Nationals versus Dodgers. Kyle, I'll let you make your pick here first.
Well, I picked the Dodgers. Just guys. That's it. I don't really have much to say about that. So, go ahead.
Well, unfortunately, it's weird. The DS we completely agreed, and on the CS we completely disagree. I'm going with the Nationals here. I think the series is going 7 games, and like I said before, it's just very hard for me to pick against the home team in that 7th game, and the Nationals earned that home spot by having the best record in the NL all year, and I think they use that to their advantage to get done. I'm sorry, Dodgers fans, but I think for the second straight year, your time ends in the NLCS. I like the Nationals.
Can they dodge this one?
God.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in
You
there.
and your puns.
So bad.
So now on to our World Series predictions.
World
So my World Series, our World Series are completely opposite.
Yeah.
I've got the Angels and Nationals, and
Which will be
Kyle's
interesting,
got the Tigers and Dodgers.
We can kind of cover 2 different kind of fronts about it. So
We'll see who's most accurate, I guess.
Yes.
If you're right, if you're wrong, if you're right about this, if you beat me about this, I may have to retire from sports in general because this is my sport. Baseball has been my whole life. If I can't beat you in a baseball prediction, I have no business just talking about sports. So anyway, Kyle, why don't you lead us off here? Give us your official World Series prediction.
World Series? Well, I'm just gonna go and say it. You guys can probably guess the Tigers. I think I don't know. I'm just sticking with the Tigers. I just think, yeah. I don't know. I just have a feeling about the Tigers. I'm just kind of doing this based on intuition here. The very little stuff I know. I haven't watched a single game since I think maybe one of the old Red Sox games this year. But I don't know. I'm just thinking Tigers. That's my guess.
Well, you and I are actually going to agree on something in a little ways because you and I are both picking the American League team to win the World Series this year. I like the Angels over the Nationals. Nationals just do not have a whole lot of playoff experience. This is only their second year in franchise history actually being in the playoffs, whereas the Angels,
Are you serious?
with Albert Pujols and Mike Trout, these guys have a ton of experience, ton of playoff experience, and even some World Series experience. I just like the Angels. I like like I said, I think they've been the top dogs for most of this season, and I like them to to pull it out. So I'm going to take the Angels. So there you have it. Our official On the Couch Talking Sports predictions for the 2014 MLB playoffs. We'll see what happens. Could be right, could be wrong. You never know. Anything can happen. But we're excited to see how we do as this progresses. So, as I told you, I'll run my paper here. We did post a poll on our Facebook page. By the way, if you want to join our page, go to facebook.com and look up On a Couch Talking Sports. Click to join. We'll add you.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we're on Twitter, by the way, at OACTS. So
he's actually more the Twitter person. I just kind of...
I do it all.
I let him do the whole Twitter part of it, so...
I do it all.
I know nothing about Twitter.
Yeah. I made you a Twitter, and you never used it.
I never really use it, I'm not gonna lie.
By the way, follow him, Kyle Souza. He's got no tweets.
If you want to, you can follow me, but I mean, I don't know when I'm gonna get back to that channel. I don't think I even remember my password for it, so if you want to follow me, go ahead, but I might not answer for a while.
Alright, so we're getting off topic. So now it's time to unveil
Ooh, yes.
the results of the poll. We have 15 votes cast.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, let me just make sure. Yeah, 15 votes cast. Thank you to everybody that voted, by the way. We really appreciate it.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
Don't name everyone, but you know who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alright, so the top team in our On a Couch Talking Sports Facebook poll was the Angels with 4 votes. So my team getting a little love there.
There you go.
By the way, I will admit that I was one of the votes. But you voted too, so it's okay, yeah. Second place, we actually had a tie.
Oh, yeah.
We had 3 votes for the Royals, so some people picking the underdogs, which I can see. First time in 29 years, people like to hope that maybe they'll sort of carry them.
Yeah, I'm totally sympathetic with that. Yeah, definitely.
And then the Dodgers, which Kyle actually created the tie just before we came on air by voting for the Dodgers. So both those teams had 3 votes. This is a very close poll, actually. Only a couple votes separating all the teams.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had third place. We had another tie. Mm-hmm. We had the Tigers with 2 votes.
Yep.
So your World Series prediction.
A little bit of love there too.
Wait a minute. Which team did you vote for? The Dodgers or the Tigers?
For the World Series, Tigers.
Oh, so I'm sorry. So you didn't vote for the Dodgers. So disregard what I just said.
Yeah. Oh no, that's okay.
So yeah, Kyle voted for the Tigers. I apologize, but 2 votes for the Tigers, and then 2 votes for the Athletics, who were knocked out last night in the AL wild card game. So for those 2 people, I'm not gonna name names. But for those 2 people that voted for the Athletics, I'm sorry.
Well, understandable, because it was kind of an upset. I think a lot of people thought the Athletics were going to beat the other team, but you never know.
And then lastly, we had 1 vote for the Baltimore Orioles. Okay. Interesting to note, only 1 NL team received any votes on our poll, and that was the Dodgers.
Sorry, National League.
Yeah, so the Nationals, the Cardinals, and the Giants, and Pirates didn't receive any votes. Sorry.
No love for the Pirates.
No love for the Pirates. So, thank you again to everybody that voted. Like we said, we appreciate it. We'll do some more polls maybe as we go into future episodes.
We should. That's a cool idea.
Yeah. So now we're gonna move on to sort of the end of our show and our monologues. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go first. Last night was kind of a cool game to watch for a couple of reasons. One, because obviously it's the playoffs, and that's always very exciting. But also because our hometown, good old Wellesley, Massachusetts, for the first time I think in history, had a Wellesley resident, played at Wellesley High School, who was on the official playoff roster for their team in last night's game. And who is this player, you may ask? Not only, but Nate Fryman of the Oakland Athletics. Round of applause for Nate.
There you go, Nate.
Nate really good guy. Again, like I said, 4-year varsity player at Wellesley High School. Went on to play at Duke. I knew Nate personally back growing up in high school. Really nice guy. And last night, not only was on the roster for the Oakland Athletics, but got to play in the game. Had an at-bat and played first base. So Nate, we're proud of you, man. Congratulations. Representing the black and red, the red and black, proud last night in the MLB playoffs. So, good job, Nate. Sorry your team didn't come out on top, but hey, there's always next year.
Hey, made the playoffs. Was pretty good.
So yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to throw a shout out to him in my monologue. So, Kyle, what you got for us tonight?
What I got? No, I couldn't think of a lot to talk about, any sports related or anything. I mean, it seems kind of like slowed down a bit, especially after all that NFL stuff going on. So, just got a message. If you ever have white knuckles, put your hair down low. Maybe it ain't so bad. Okay, that's all.
Thank you. That had nothing to do with sports, but
Nope.
hey.
No.
But you were just gonna reference. We're gonna make sure that you reference that T-shirt
Yeah.
at least once. That's all right.
Good man.
You never know what's gonna happen on this show.
No, especially with me on it.
Especially with you, yeah. So, thank you everybody again for tuning in to another edition of On the Couch Talking Sports. That's gonna do it for this episode. For Kyle, I'm Robbie. See you next time.